My name is Erin Wu, and I'm one of the teacher trainers here at Brown. And I'm excited to share about our program with you. And I'm aware sometimes people sign up for this when they're interested in just a mindfulness class, not teacher training. So I want to check in and see if there's anyone here who is in that category. Okay. So it looks like you're here for teacher training. All right. Well, what we'll do today in our hour together is that we'll start with a brief mindfulness practice, 5 minutes or so, to drop in, and then I'll spend 20 or 25 minutes giving you an overview of our training pathway and then leave lots of time for questions. So there'll be plenty of time to ask your specific questions. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and drop into a bit of practice. So, inviting you to establish a posture for yourself of wakefulness, body stretched upward, as well as ease. It's not a rigid holding yourself or making your body super straight. A sense of ease, the feeling of being held by the chair beneath you. And then, if you like, you can close your eyes or simply cast your gaze downward. And the first thing to do is to notice that you're here. And as you notice that you're here, checking in with what's present, what it feels like to be in your body. Aware of sensations, aware of thoughts. Maybe your mind is quite busy. Maybe it's quieter. Whatever the case, there isn't anything we're trying to accomplish in meditation. Mindfulness is this practice of noticing what's here and what emotions are present. And this really powerful act of self-compassion to recognize what is here. And then inviting you to turn your attention to an anchor. Maybe it's your breathing, awareness of your breath moving through your nose, the movement of your chest or your belly. Or maybe it's a sensation somewhere else in your body, like your feet or your hands or your seat. Choosing any one of these and gently resting attention here. As your mind wanders off, and it will, noticing where it goes and gently bringing attention back to whatever your anchor is. And gently resting attention there. No place to get to, nothing to accomplish. And then we'll begin to transition out of this practice. So the possibility of appreciating the fact that you have taken a few moments to practice in this way. And then perhaps connecting with an intention for how you would like to move forward for the rest of this session together. And then as you're ready, introducing some movement into your body, opening your eyes if you close them, and reconnecting with the group on the screen. So thank you for that opportunity to practice together. So for those of you who logged in after, I'm Erin Wu, a teacher trainer here at Brown University, and delighted to welcome you to this info session. So I'll spend the next 20-25 minutes giving you an overview of our program, and then I'll reserve the remainder of our time to answer particular questions any of you might have. If you are in a space where it's workable to turn your camera on, I love to see who's here, but that's not a requirement at all. It's fine to keep your camera off. All right, so I am going to share my screen. Actually, before I do that, I'll just say a few words by way of introduction of MBSR, Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. So this is an info session about teaching this class, MBSR, we say for short because it's a mouthful. So MBSR, for those of you who have taken the class already will know this, it's an 8-week kind of in-depth immersion into the practices of mindfulness meditation. It was a course created by John Kabat-Zinn back in the late 1970s, drawing on ancient practices from Asia that he had been a long-term practitioner of. And so it's an introductory course, but kind of a deep dive into mindfulness with daily practice required as part of it and long periods of practice in the class itself. It's very much an experiential class. So the model is let's engage in this practice and then let's talk about what you noticed as you engaged in that practice and what questions do you have. There are themes each week that we explore. And a lot of the learning takes place through the simplicity of practicing together and then talking about it, learning from each other's experiences and what people are bringing forward. So that's a quick overview of MBSR, and now we'll talk about the training pathway. So, in order to begin on the training pathway, there are some prerequisites that you need to do. The first is you need to take that MBSR class as a participant for yourself. And the idea here is twofold. Number one, take it to develop your own practice. Whether you're new to MBSR, you've been practicing for 30 years, or anywhere in between. Take it really for yourself and as a way of deepening your own practice. My sense is that anyone, myself included, can keep taking that class and learn again and again. So even if you have many years of experience, I think you'll learn some things from it. And then the other reason for taking it is to see, is this a form that you actually want to teach in? A really important question before you embark on a training pathway for it. You also need to attend a silent meditation retreat. a teacher-led silent meditation retreat. And there are a couple options here. One is a minimum of 5 days, can be longer than that. The other is to break it up into two 3-day retreats. So either of those are workable. And I'll show you later where you can find information about those retreats. And then the third is you need 2 years of daily meditation practice for yourself. And the idea here being that there are some things where you could read a book and then go teach them. Mindfulness is not one of them. The only reason I have anything to offer as a teacher is because of the depth of my practice. I've been practicing for a long time, and I've experienced all sorts of things in my meditation, both delightful things as well as deeply challenging things and everywhere in between. And all of those things come up in the MBSR class. And so if you're going to be guiding people in a class, you need to have experience with the different things that arise. Not that you've experienced them all, but that you are encountering some of them in your practice. So those are the three prerequisites. You also need a master's degree to engage in the training program or to demonstrate equivalency. And uh, don't let that master's degree be a deterrent to you. We accept a wide range of experience in demonstrating equivalency. So we're looking for you to demonstrate ways in which you've cultivated um, critical speaking and learning skills, depth of communication, these kinds of things. So there's all sorts of work experience, life experience, other kinds of trainings that you may have done. So typically we find people are readily able to demonstrate that. So those are the prerequisites. And once you meet those prerequisites, you can sign up for the first teacher training class. This class is called MBSR Foundations and Facilitator Training. It's a mouthful. It's a 10-week class. And in this class, you will take the MBSR class all over again. This time, you'll be a participant, but also an observer. Our foundations classes have up to 12 people in them. So you and your entire class, along with your teacher, will be in that MBSR class. The teacher's teaching both of the classes. So you're continuing to develop your practice, but also watching what the teacher's up to. And then the next day or whenever the foundations class meets after, that's one of the ways in which you are learning about the role of the teacher, about the MBSR curriculum. And you have this great model of being immersed in a class and being able to talk about what your observations were, where you leaned in, where you leaned back, what your curiosities are, all of that. So the seminar itself for foundations is 3.5 hours. And three intentions in that: deepening practice, to learn about the MBSR curriculum, the role of the teacher, and then to prepare you to be a mindfulness facilitator. This does not lead to being an MBSR teacher. You need to take one more class before you do that. But you are an MBSR facilitator when you successfully complete this class. So what does that mean? You are able to guide shorter meditations, to offer introductions to mindfulness, and short mindfulness classes, say a 4-week session, an hour a week, or something like that. So that's the first class in the training pathway. And if you're, some people know, all right, I want to become a certified MBSR teacher. I'm ready to go. Tell me what I need to do. Other people are coming here, maybe unsure. Is this a good pathway for me? Not sure exactly what I want to do. I'm exploring other things. The foundations class is a great first step without needing to commit to anything. You can take that class. You can learn a lot more about MBSR, about the particular way we teach mindfulness. And at the end, you are a facilitator at the end of that 10 weeks. So it's a great place to start and then to evaluate after. What is my next best step? Do I want to continue or is this enough? And for some of you, if you want to integrate mindfulness into your workplace in modest ways or whatever you might do, that may well be an end point for you. The next class on the training pathway is called the Teacher Advancement Intensive. That's a 5-week class that occurs over 3 weekends, and it is intensive. It meets all day, 3 days for 3 separate weekends. And in that, we demonstrate all of the different curriculum elements, a lot of practice teaching in small groups and larger groups, self-reflecting, peer feedback, teacher feedback. When you complete that successfully, you are a qualified level 1 MBSR teacher, which means that you can teach MBSR in whatever setting you wish. Uh, at your workplace, in your community, with friends and family, whatever ideas you have in mind. It's important to say that we don't provide teaching opportunities. It's up to every individual to find their own opportunities. So that requires some effort. And in the foundations course, you're required before continuing on to the TAI to offer some introductory workshops. So that's great because it gives you experience in finding groups and answering this question, how am I going to find places to teach? Because that's an important question. So I'm going to share my screen briefly. So this is level 1. And just like I said, I think that first class is a good place to stop and evaluate. I also think completing the level 1 is a good place to stop. For some people, they will go off and teach MBSR and they feel adequately prepared and that's an end point. There is a full certification pathway, and I'll cover that briefly as well. But I think when looking at it and the cost and the amount of time, it can feel overwhelming. So to think about level 1 as like one step you can take, you can do it in a year's time once you have the prerequisites and then evaluate there. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you visually. That's not what I wanted to. Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. So this is a graphic of what I just shared. So the prerequisites are right here. Here's the MBSR Foundations and Facilitator training. That leads to a credential. You will be a mindfulness facilitator recognized by Brown University when you complete that class. There are additional prerequisites. I didn't mention these, but there's independent study, a second silent meditation retreat, and then I did mention these introductory sessions that you need to teach. Then you can take, we call it the TAI, Teacher Advancement Intensive. And when you successfully complete that, you're a qualified level 1 MBSR teacher recognized by Brown. So you could take, say, the facilitator training in the spring of this year if you had the prerequisites, and you could take the TAI in the fall. And by the end of the year, you would be a level 1 MBSR teacher. So I will also show you the graphic for the full pathway. I won't go into great detail about it because I think to absorb it all is a lot. As I said, just focusing on the level 1, I think is helpful. But for your reference, I will show you the whole graphic just so you have an idea of what that is if you are interested. Um, let's see, my screen is a little crowded. Okay. So this part right here is what I already showed you with the level 1. And then as we move down here, sequentially, there are 2 other classes that you take, the MBSR Curriculum Study Group and Skill Building Workshop, Individual Mentoring. And then down here, you'll see these dark gray are two additional classes. They're not sequential. You can take them whenever you want. I say two. This used to be one class that got divided into two smaller parts. So technically three classes that you take down here that you can choose when you take, and then two additional retreats that you can take whenever you want. Once you complete all of that, you can apply for teacher certification, and upon successful completion of that, you are a fully certified MBSR teacher by Brown University. So, what's the difference between a level one and a certified teacher? In many situations, in terms of credential, it may not matter. There are some places that want to know that you're a certified teacher, but in many places it may be fine to be a level one teacher. Some people really just want that credential. They want the depth of training. And of course, if you engage in ongoing training, there is going to be a deepening of the teaching practice. So I teach all of the courses on the pathway, and people, when they complete level one, are competent MBSR teachers. And I see the ongoing learning and insights as people continue on. So that's a personal choice. If you make it to level one, you can take your time taking another course as you feel the need to support your own learning. So I'll pause here and check in and see what questions you might have. You can either raise your hand or type in the chat. Hi, Sao.
Hi, Erin. Thank you so much for the introduction. I think that's been very helpful. Um, I was wondering, how do the Brown teacher training courses compare to teacher training, NBSR training courses offered by other universities, like the University of California, San Diego, for example?
Sure. So I can only speak to our classes, our courses, and you might gather I'm a little biased since I'm here at Brown. I think our training pathway is fantastic. I think our teaching team is top notch. The my fellow colleagues, the faculty here, I have deep admiration for both as teachers, but also many of them are friends as human beings. And then the Mindfulness Center at Brown that we are associated with has this education part, but also research based. And we have a lot of great researchers in the field doing important work. And we're in close communication with them. And when things arise, questions in the classroom, we can reach out to them. And what is the research saying about these kinds of things? So I think we offer a really strong program. And then in terms of other programs you might consider, you can ask them that question. Yeah, yeah, sure. Kathleen,
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. I was wondering, I've taken this a silent meditation. Um, it may have been like 2 years ago now. Would
Hmm.
that still qualify?
Sure.
Okay. And then I had filled out an application, but I didn't hear back from anyone. How would I know about the next step to do the foundation facilitator training 10-week class? Is there a separate sign up for that?
So you filled out an application for that particular class, Kathleen?
I thought I did online. It sent me like a confirmation email, but then I
Okay.
didn't hear from anybody, and it's been about a month, so figured let me figure out that part.
Yeah. So I'm going to put my email in the chat, and any of you are welcome to use this if you have questions. But Kathleen, if you send me an email, I will forward it on to the person who can check registration and just verify where that is. But you should hear from someone sooner than 1 month, so
Okay,
I
great.
can look into what's going on there for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So I'm going to switch to a question in the chat, and then I'll come back to you, Aaron. So, Lynn, does the initial 8-week MBSR prereq program need to be from Brown in order to enroll in the Brown training course? Great question, Lynn. No, it does not. You can take the 8-week MBSR class anywhere in the world. It needs to be taught by a live teacher. There are some courses that you can take online, those don't qualify. But as long as there's a live teacher, it's the full 8 weeks with an all-day session. You can take that anywhere, on Zoom or in person. Yeah. Aaron.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the introduction here. My question, one of the two questions. The first was the prerequisite that you had outlined here was 2 years of daily meditation practice for yourself. How does an individual demonstrate that I've done that? Do we keep like a log, say like on Insight Timer, something like that, that would qualify for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So, for all of the prerequisites, you'll need to tell us where you took an MBSR class, where you did your retreat, your meditation experience, all of these things. We ask you to self-report and we take you at your word. So, you
Okay.
don't need any documentation beyond what you report to us.
Okay. And then the second question I had, the graph that you showed here, or that you showed in here that outlined kind of the path from the courses level one, level two, final, I think is super helpful. Is there a link where we could maybe go back to review that?
Yes, so I am going to put some links in the chat right now,
Okay.
including that graphic. That's the level one. Do you want the level two also? I'll go ahead and put
Yeah.
the level two. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're also on the website
Okay.
in that link, but I'll go ahead and put that so you have that too. This is just going to be a link, not as neat as the others, but that's not the level two, that's the full certification, that next
Yes.
one.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and then while we're on the subject of links, I'll also put some links for the prerequisites. So here are links if you haven't taken MBSR yet, where you could register if you want to take it through Brown. As I said, you can take that anywhere. Retreat information and graduate degree equivalency. So those are there as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, so I'm going to switch back to a chat question and then I'll come to you, Sandy. Is John Kabat-Zinn still associated with his certification? So John is not formally associated with us here at Brown, but when we formed the Mindfulness Center back in 2018, he spent a lot of time with us in the formation, and our executive director, as well as some of our teacher trainers, are in regular contact with him. So he's not associated directly with our program, but yes, we are very much still in contact with him and seek out his advice and ideas on kind of high level things. Yeah. Sandy.
Yes, good morning. So the certification in the teaching, is this only applicable for adult-based, or could this be used for adolescents, children, young adults?
Yeah, that's an important question. So MBSR is designed for adults, people 18 and older. And developmentally, the way we teach MBSR is not appropriate for people younger than that. So there are quite a few people who take the foundations course as a way to kind of get their minds around MBSR, how it's taught, the methods of teaching, and then do other things to supplement how they will bring it to younger people.
And I'm sorry, can I just add to that? Would you have recommendations for those supplemental trainings that are considered appropriate through Brown?
Yeah, Sandy, I put my email address in the chat. If you email me, I can share some things for you. Unfortunately, there's no one organization that I can point to and say like that this is a great one. There was one, Mindful Schools, that closed a couple of years ago, sadly. But I can offer some resources.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Is the 10-week session live sessions or pre-recorded? Um, so you can get a recording of MBSR on Sounds True, but we teach it live. Everything is live, and we ask that for the prerequisite you take a live, non-recorded class. Jen, Jen, you're on mute.
Hi there.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I think I was just trying to go to chat. I didn't have a question.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Hi.
I think I have two questions. So, I was on your website. I looked at links to the retreats that meet your requirements, and I couldn't tell exactly which retreats on those websites worked. Do any retreats that are 3 days uh, count, or do they have to be the ones that you
Yeah.
link to?
Sure. Let me walk you through that retreat page. I meant to do that anyway. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through this. So this is excuse me, our retreat page. I put a link in the chat to it. An overview of our retreat requirements. We're talking about MBSR teacher training, but there's also MBCT, another form. So these retreats right here are offered by our Brown faculty. We don't offer retreats at Brown, but a number of our adjunct faculty do. So if you were to take a retreat through any of these links, they automatically count. The only exception to that is heart-based mindfulness. Kate offers travel retreats, travel yoga retreats. So that would kind of be clear because it's not a silent meditation retreat. But any of these others would qualify. So you can click on any of those links. UMass Memorial has 3-day retreats, and Colleen Kamenich typically does 3 of those a year, so those work. Bob Stahl offers the most retreats and all around the world, so that's a great place to look also. If you scroll down here, this is a list of retreat centers that sometimes, at least, offer retreats that meet our prerequisites, but not necessarily all of the time. So then the question is, okay, so how do I determine that? So you can take a retreat anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be on this list. You can find a retreat anywhere. If you're taking it other than that top list, then you'll need to verify, does this retreat align with what we're looking for? So here are the details of that. Kind of an overview here. And then each retreat day includes a minimum of 12 hours, rhythm of sitting, walking, movement. I won't read through this, but here are the requirements, and here are the requirements for a 3-day. So if you wanted to take a retreat anywhere other than that first column, just check here. And once again, if you take a retreat and you've looked it over and you said, yes, that meets, we don't question that. If you wanted help, we're happy to look at it, but we take you at your word.
Okay, so if it meets the requirements. And then I have a second question. I apologize. So, this was something I didn't realize. You said it was the teacher training ultimately results in being able to teach the 8-week program. Does it go beyond that, or would a graduate be able to teach individual classes, programs that are longer? Do we have latitude with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, the training is designed to teach the MBSR course, and many people come through our training wanting to do other things, wanting to create an adaptation for, uh, I don't know, caregivers of children with disabilities or who knows what, all sorts of things. Or as you said, a longer course or a shorter course, or bring it to the workplace, whatever it might be. So we're teaching the MBSR curriculum, and then you can take what you learn and turn it into anything you want. Yeah. And in fact, I don't know when it will be ready. Within the next few years, we're creating a course on adaptation. So how would you do that if you wanted to? But many people are doing that on their own without a course. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jen. Hi, Alan.
Hello. I was just curious, are any of the courses required in person or is it all remote, Zoom related?
Yeah, all of our courses are offered online. We have the pandemic to thank for that. And we have an international student body, which is really wonderful. We have people from all over the world who attend our classes. And so, yes, they're all online. You don't ever have to come to Brown.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hi, Joel.
Hey Aaron, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good. A question for you. I know you brought up mindful schools, and I did the mindful schools certification for the year long. I don't know if you remember me, it was a long time ago. Um, I'm wondering the retreats for, and I think you answered this question, and the retreat that was done for that, that would be seen as one that could be used for this as well.
Well, those retreats were 5-day retreats, and the first couple days were silent, but the last days we did all sorts of workshop things. Disclosure, I
Oh,
used to work for mindful schools.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, they were a different form of retreat.
So that wouldn't even fit for the 3 day, like one of the 3 days?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I led those retreats, Joel. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember. I don't think we did 3 full days of silent retreat in those.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about it because I know I did the MBSR course a couple years ago through Georgetown, so I have that, but just trying to figure out, do I want to do one 3 day retreat or one 5 day retreat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And good to see you, Joel.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Well, I'll be sending a follow-up email to you, so you'll have my email address and that. And feel free to reach out as questions arise. Uh, yeah, really here to support you, answer any questions, and would love to be in touch. And would be delighted if you decide to take the first step and take one of our classes. So appreciate your attention and interest in our program, and wish you well in whatever you decide to do, whatever direction you head in. So thank you all.